Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this hour of the Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. They need your guns. Sell for top dollar. DonleyAuctions.com.
Portions of the following show may be pre-recorded.
From the streets of Melrose Park to the trading floor of the Merc, he's fought for every dollar he's ever earned. And now, with personal liberty and our system of capitalism under assault in America, he's here to seize back our rights from the government. With a cigar in one hand and a copy of the Declaration of Independence in the other, he's Shaun Thompson. And this is the Shaun Thompson Show.
Some folks are born made to wave the flag. Ooh, they're red, white, and blue. And when the band plays,
yes, we can.
That silver-tongued shyster was back in the hood. And I have to tell you, if you went to work today, if you have high balances on your credit card, you're stressed, you're ready to pull your eyebrows out, you go home, you don't know how tomorrow's going to start or end or how you're going to pay next month's rent, but you delivered today. You went to work, you feed your family, you pay your electric bill, you pay your water bill, you pay your rent. Even though times are hard and healthcare premiums are up 600% compared to when Barack Obama was just late on his car payment, you're better than everybody that was at the launch of Godzilla's butt plug known as Obama Library. Not only the fact it took 10 years and he stiffed everybody that worked on it, that's what they do. And when I say they, let me be very, very specific. Parasites. Barack Obama in his $6,000 suit. Brandon Johnson in a $6,000 suit, $37,000 of haircuts. Bill Clinton with syphilis, stage 4. You look terrible, Bill. Not to mention that Hamburglar you call a wife in her costume, all short and fat, corrupt. George Bush with his wife, sexually frustrated, thinks orgasm is a planet. Then there's Joe Biden, still asking his caretaker, known as Jill, did we win? All in one place. The communists of America. All parasites. But you, with the high credit card balance, don't know how you're going to make next month's mortgage or rent, but you put food on the table for your family, you're better than all of them. But you were going to be lectured to by your lessers, and that's really what Barack Obama is. Not just an enigma. He is your lesser. Brandon Johnson is your lesser. Alexei Janulius and all of the Politburo that sits there in the capital of where the mafia, short in the pants, meets the Democrat Party, all are lesser than everybody in this state, in this city, in this country. And they are the reason all of your costs are parabolic. It isn't Donald Trump. It isn't you. It isn't the shopkeeper or the gas station owner. It's these scum who are very comfortable lecturing you about what this country is as they have bastardized the republic and turned our once great city into a business desert, a ghetto, all except for today, where it was very safe because of Brandon Johnson's 150 coppers, the Secret Service, and the fraud that is the Potemkin Village, known as Obamacare, which looks a lot like a guard tower in North Korea.
A declaration that we are all created equal, endowed by our Creator with certain...
Created equal. See, he does this. Reverend, yes, we can. Bull dung. Communist speech, bull dung. Created equal, but not equal. It's the character you choose. The dignity that can never be given with money and only earned, that some of us have. The rest are Democrats who believe this hobgoblin nonsense by this silver-tongued bust-out. Did anybody bring up Larry Sinclair today and the crack smoking in the back of the limo? No? All right. Well, Biden took care of that with his son, Step and Fetch AG, who cooked up the allegation that Larry Sinclair was a criminal instead of everybody sitting behind the glass today.
Unalienable rights, and that in the newly independent United States, there will be no kings or lords, no serfs or subjects.
So how many of those founders that you're invoking would have killed everybody during COVID? How many would have went to war with every Democrat, useless parasite mayor, city manager, governor? How many would have went to war as you shut down life? You want to talk about kings? Bust out? And that's all you ever are. I know about the $60 million in real estate. That's because you sold your power. That's because you misused government and you made your scumbag friends rich, too. But you're going to lecture people who went to work and put food on the table and paid the water bill, unlike Brandon Johnson or any other parasite suck-on chairing your useless ass.
But only citizens, each of us free to pursue our own version of happiness.
But we're not really free anymore. See, you took care of that with your namesake, ghetto care, Obamacare. You took care of that by using intended failed policies to enslave us to the lesser of us, the one who cannot provide, the one who cannot pay the food or the rent. You and your cohorts of corruption have destroyed the premise of this country, which is why you don't want to let us out. We are more than happy to get away from you. We will break every rule of your Obamacare, of your Social Security. We don't want to be enslaved to people who can't pay their frickin' rent, can't put food on the table. We are Americans. You are saboteurs. All Democrats are saboteurs.
And able to determine our collective fate through an elected representative government.
Whoa. You're going to hear this collective. There is no collective in this country. There is only the liberty of one, the true minority, the individual. And this silver-tongued rat scoundrel has used every policy intended to fail and its failure to ensure just the fact that we, the producers, are enslaved to the parasites. We are the ones that make up the rent checks, the food payments, the health care, all intended to enslave us.
Let's talk about Obamacare. Let's take a step back. 2015, 16, 17, 18, 2020, there were 9 million people on Obamacare. 9 million. Today, it's more than 20 million.
That's all it was. Everybody on the welfare system. Because once you're there, you listen to this bull dung. And they get your kids to start singing it.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
Not once was it mentioned that this single-handed moron doubled the national debt, that it took 236 years to do. And then you're going to say, well, George Bush did it. He opened the door. Well, George Bush also killed 1 million people in Iraq. But Barack Obama, he doesn't want to talk about that. He thinks it's all Trump's fault. Not to mention he had Valerie Jarrett. By the way, Valerie Jarrett, you are aging terribly. Chanting for the Indians. And she does not mention the Comanche, enemy of all, of which the white-faced pale man, like Elizabeth Warren, saved all the tribes you tout.
We'd also like to take a moment to recognize the original inhabitants of the land upon which we are gathered today.
Elizabeth Warren?
We honor the Anishinaabe, the Council of Three Fires, the Ojibwe, the Odawa, and the Potawatomi nations.
Right here. Without us, the Comanche would have killed and enslaved all of you. But what's history to these scoundrels who want to rewrite it in order to steal the future, of which they do? And now you're going to hear about a peaceful transfer of power. In fact, the plan to attack the White House this weekend, the plan by Democrat apparatchiks and your Antifa terrorists to use drones, they had guns. Nobody on January 6th had a gun. What this fought off this weekend was a true insurrection, but Obama's going to backhanded claim there was an insurrection. Hey, Barack, you married to that, oh, and she is big. Woo-wee. To that guard dog. You married to the guard dog. It wasn't an insurrection, not just because there were no guns. I wasn't there, dummy.
A belief in the peaceful transfer of power after the people have spoken in fair and free elections, recognizing that in a large, complicated society like ours, no group or faction gets its way 100% of the time.
See, but here's the problem. You in your Democrat areas like the one you're celebrating opening that butt plug for Godzilla in. The one that you paid, $1 billion to, and you stiffed everybody you could. See, you have managed to work under this idea of democracy when you have been stealing elections and bragging about it in Chicago since 1960. You brag about it. And you and your cohort of government corruption covered up the fact that you got somebody over there sitting in a diaper, a soiled diaper, asking his wife if he still won when you stole 2020 election.
You're asking today if it's possible for an employee to log in from home to the computer system of the county.
That's what I'm asking, Your Honor. Is it possible?
Not just that. That's poorly phrased. You're asking him, is it possible for an employee to log in from home and do signature verification from home, not just log into the general county's website?
Correct, Your Honor. To log in and perform signature verifications from home.
Okay.
It's a yes or a no question, Your Honor.
I gathered that.
Got him in the corner here, Squirrel.
Go ahead and answer, Mr. Valenzuela.
If I may take a point of privilege, that is, we do have remote capabilities for several of our staff admin, and I can log into my PC, but it is not a set standard or protocol to do so for signature verification.
So we had to trust all the Democrat scumbags that, like Barack Obama, were late on their Ghetto 300. We're late on the car payment, couldn't pay the water bill, and all of a sudden, just like Barack Obama and Bigfoot, they're rich. That's the payoff. So we had to trust Democrats to give us election results after they're in the capital of election theft, known as Chirac. Now, used to be called Chicago. You could also call it Chiracistan if you prefer, depending on what neighborhood you're in. And now you are to believe it is that wonderful republic based on democracy and the little states, federalism. And this proves beyond the shadow of a doubt. They're very comfortable in stealing elections, after all. That's how they turned us all into Medicare, welfare, subsidized Obamacare recipients through lies and frauds, but all with the silver-tongue chanting of somebody who never achieved anything other than getting elected.
And a belief that qualities of character, honesty, integrity.
Honesty? Did you say? Don't say. You shouldn't even say honesty. You lying, thieving fraud.
We will keep this promise to the American people. If you like your doctor, you will be able to keep your doctor.
Wrong.
Period. If you like your health care plan, you will be able to keep your health care plan.
Wrong.
Period.
If you like your doctor or health care plan, you can keep it.
Nothing in this plan will require you or your employer to change the coverage of the doctor you have.
I play this because this single policy, this illegitimate policy, this unconstitutional, fascistic force into a system not only drove up costs, hundreds of percentages, dare I say thousands, depending on who you are. It put millions and millions of businesses out of business. It destroyed the quality of life and the assets of hundreds of millions of Americans, and it turned 91% of America into subsidized welfare recipients.
Obamacare could get a lot more expensive for millions of people thanks to a federal appeals court ruling. The judges decided the federal government can't provide health insurance subsidies in states using healthcare.gov. The case affects 4.7 million people.
That's just the latest case. All of this threw everybody into a welfare system where once you were in it before you knew it, you started to beg to keep the subsidies, knowing what the cost would be. And by the way, as I recap the greatest abuse and the backdoor nationalization of healthcare by one corrupt president, understand that he knew, and all the Democrats knew, exactly what it would do to us.
Politically, you just literally cannot do it. Okay, transparent financing, unless I have transparent financing, also transparent spending. I mean, this bill was written in a tortured way to make sure CBO did not score the mandate as taxes. If CBO scored the mandate as taxes, the bill dies. Okay, so it's written to do that. In terms of risk-rated subsidies, if you had a law which said healthy people are going to pay in, it made explicit that healthy people pay in and sick people get money, it would not have passed. Okay, just like lack of transparency is a huge political advantage. And basically, call it the stupidity of the American voter or whatever. But basically, that was really, really critical to getting the thing to pass. And, it's the second best argument. Look, I wish Mark was right. We can make it all transparent, but I'd rather have this law than not.
So he knew what it would do. Barack knew. Every rat pig Democrat that destroyed our health care, 50% less doctors, 50% less hospitals. The cost 400% on average for just insurance premiums, let alone the fact that it was always intended to be stolen from illegal aliens and domestic parasite scum like the ones who celebrated the opening today.
Like, what happened? What happened was we completely took the guardrails off. And I know this because I'm working in the agency that actually was told to take the guardrails off. And because there wasn't an earnest desire to keep track of whether you're appropriately on it or not, but more importantly, just get the number to where we all feel good about ourselves, we had massive increases of people joining the program. We believe that 35%, roughly, of the people that are using the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare exchanges, because they've never used the program once, they've never filed a claim, may not be legit.
All of it set up to destroy the quality of our life, the wealth of the individual, and turn you into a serf to some crackhead like Barack was in the back of the limousine with Larry Sinclair. 312-642-5600.
What if everything you've been told about government, health care, poverty, energy, and even science is a carefully constructed lie? In Shaun Thompson's new book, What If It's All a Lie? Shaun Thompson dismantles the myths at the core of modern America. This is the book the ruling class doesn't want you to read. And once you do, you won't see the world the same way again. Order your copy today at ShaunThompsonShow.com/book.
Have you been watching gold and silver lately? Hard to ignore. Back in January of 2025, silver was under $30 an ounce, and now it's more than doubled. Again. Not bad, right? Some experts say this bull market is just getting started,